Welcome back to the 2-Minute One. Today I'm taking a look at the Cleveland Browns and going over whether or not they're a contender or a pretender. But before we get into that topic, question for those of you who want to hear from you guys. Where do you rank Myles Garrett amongst pass rushers in the NFL? You think he's the best, top 5, top 3, above Joey Bosa, but behind TJ Watt, wherever you got him? Give me an idea where you have him ranked, and I'll give my answer at the end. But getting straight into it, just to make it clear right away, what I'm classifying and defining contender as a Super Bowl contender, a team that can go all the way through the playoffs and win a Super Bowl or compete for a Super Bowl. Not a team that can make the playoffs or get a playoff win, a team that can get to the playoffs and win all their playoff games, bring home that Lombardi trophy. And just because, I'm not necessarily saying I have to bet on the Browns to win the Super Bowl and that makes them a contender, but I'm just saying they're on par with any other Super Bowl team, and that's how I'm classifying them as a contender. And pretender is obviously not making the Super Bowl, not being a contender. But looking at the Browns roster as a whole, it's really as good as it comes. I mean, the backfield is the best in the NFL, in my opinion, between Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. There's some other deep backfields in the NFL. Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines, Marlon Mack's a good one with the Colts. But I'm tipping my hat towards the Browns for the best backfield in the NFL. Best offensive line in the NFL. At worst, top 3. You could take them or the Colts, another one that would be neck and neck as far as offensive lines and backfields go. Baker Mayfield, he's on the cusp of being a top 10 quarterback. You can make the argument he already is, but I'm going to say cusp just for the sake of the video. Off the top of my head, I haven't really ranked my top 10 quarterbacks in a while. Looking at the receiving core, is it the best in the NFL? No, but it is one of the deepest receiving groups in the NFL. A lot does depend on how OBJ is going to be coming back, but they were pretty fine last year without him, and I'm hoping he can only be a positive to this receiving room. We've seen in the past Baker and OBJ has had their conflicts before, as in kind of not flowing through the offense. He's not a lubricator of this offense by any means. He kind of stalls it out at sometimes. It just feels forced. You don't want that to happen again, but I'm hoping being under Kevin Stefanski, this is going to be a fine offense with OBJ added. But looking at the receiving room as a whole, OBJ, of course, Jarvis Landry, Rashard Higgins, Peoples-Jones. I like the double tight end threat with David Njoku and Austin Hooper. Browns have a stout offense, and you cannot deny it, and it's managed well and organized well and coached well, all by Kevin Stefanski, reigning coach of the year. Looking at the defense, I'm liking their defense this year. My only concern, and this is a minor concern that I'm just nitpicking at this point, is chemistry and experience together. What the Browns added this year, John Johnson, Troy Hill, Greg Newsome, J.O.K., Jadeveon Clowney, Malik Jackson, Takkarist McKinley, that's 7 or 8 guys that just haven't started on this team together, whether they were drafted, added, traded, whatever it is. This is a brand new defense for the most part, and you got your other guys that have stayed there. Myles Garrett, you have Anthony Walker, you have Denzel Ward, but even guys like Greedy Williams, Grant Delpit, guys that have played with the Browns, they're coming off of injuries or just not playing. There's not a lot of chemistry and experience with this Browns team as far as the defense go. Is the on-roster talent there? On paper, this is one of the most well-rounded teams. You got your number 1 corner, Denzel Ward. You got some guys behind him, and Greg Newsome, Grant Delpit, Greedy Williams. You got Troy Hill developing, or I don't want to say developing, but Troy Hill is a good slot corner. John Johnson, a good captain at safety. Linebacker core is looking good now that Anthony Walker has J.O.K. behind him. Pass rush looking good that Myles Garrett has Jadeveon Clowney, Malik Jackson, Takkarist McKinley behind him. Like I said, it's a good defense on paper, but when it comes to actually playing together, they don't have a lot of experience together, and I do think that could be a problem just in the first few weeks. It's just going to be a matter of time. This isn't a thing. This is a hurry up and wait thing. You can't rush chemistry. I think in time will develop, but it could take the first 3-4 weeks of football where they're just not clicking, they're not on the same page. It's not going to be a huge problem for the team. You got a whole season until the playoffs. I think they'll be fine in the end, but it's just something to consider if they look a little rusty in the first few weeks. I do think that'll be completely normal. So overall, if it's not obvious, I'm leaning towards contender. I mean, the Browns have one of the best rosters in the NFL. The only reasons you could make the argument for them to be a pretender, this is just me stepping back and looking at it. If I was forced to say they're a pretender, my argument would be, again, I'm saying they are a contender, but if I was forced to knock something about them, it would A, be the chemistry, B, probably be injuries. Just Jadeveon Clowney's always hurt. OBJ got hurt last year. Just injuries might hold him back. OBJ and Baker's return, that could really stall the offense, even though I don't think it will. It could. Those are really all I got. Chemistry, injuries, and OBJ's return, how's it going to be? Not a lot. Maybe one more would just be the fact No, I would say my last one was going to be just the fact of how tough the AFC is between the Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Titans, Browns. But the Browns are on par with every single one of those teams. I can make the argument, like I said, the Browns have the best roster in the NFL, so I'm not even going to say that. They're a contender. They could contend with any single one of those teams, but if I was forced to say they pretend, my argument would be the OBJ return. It's not going to be good. They don't have enough chemistry together. Too many expectations. That is a fourth one I could add, or a fifth one. Sorry, I'm just rambling off the top of my head, but Browns and Baker in the Baker era, anytime they've had high expectations, they haven't really lived up to the hype, especially in Baker's second year specifically, going from rookie to second year. There was a lot of letdowns there, especially when they traded for OBJ and Jarvis Landry. Just did not work like it was expected. Now, come time again, OBJ's come back. The defense is ready. The only scary thing about that is the bar is set so high. The Browns have to almost deliver a Super Bowl appearance to satisfy them. But again, I'm just being nitpicky right now. I'm being super critical. I don't expect a problem for that. I like the Browns to make the AFC Championship this year. As far as predicting them to go to the Super Bowl, it's hard for me to predict that now without seeing them play one bit. Maybe even week one, my mind could change. Once they play the Chiefs week one, that could be an AFC Championship preview right away. I got them making the AFC Championship, and I 100% have them being a contender as a team that can win a Super Bowl. That I would not be surprised, shocked, anything about them. If they brought home the Lombardi Trophy, again, there would be no expression of shock go across my face because, like I said, they have arguably the most completed roster in the NFL. It's either them or the Bucs. Two-way race for the best roster in the NFL. To me, that's an argument for a whole nother video. But the Browns, it's either them or the Bucs. It just depends on who you ask. I got them going pretty far this year. I got them being a AFC Championship appearance. I got them being a Super Bowl contender. I got them being a contender, not a pretender. But you guys tell me, do you agree or disagree with my take that the Browns are going to be a contender in this upcoming season? I would be surprised if people don't, but who knows? A lot of opinions out there. I'd love to hear them all. As far as the question of the day, where does Myles Garrett rank? It's kind of tough. I don't know. I asked where do you rank amongst pass rushers, so I don't know if Aaron Donald counts because he's kind of a defensive tackle. But just for the sake of argument, let's just include all pass rushers. That would be Aaron Donald. Myles Garrett would probably be top 5 as that's a safe category to throw him in, but I'm determining if he's top 3 or not. Aaron Donald's obviously got to be 1. He's just number 1 for me. But number 2, 3, 4, 5, where does it go? TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Joey Bosa. I think Myles Garrett could be the second best pass rusher in the NFL behind Aaron Donald. I feel pretty confident that I'll say top 3 just to be safe in case there's someone I'm not thinking of off the top of my head, but I would put him up. Khalil Mack, of course. That would be a tough one. 2 and 3, I'd have to really sit down and look at it, but I do think Myles Garrett's a top 3 pass rusher in the NFL. I'll feel pretty confident saying that, but you guys tell me. I want to hear from you. As always, and of course, thank you for watching, guys. I truly appreciate it. 2-minute warning.